What's up, YouTube, Facebook, and all the other social media outlets that are viewing this today? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house, back in the saddle. And this is going to be what I call, and I don't do a whole lot of this, but this is what I call an overreaction Friday. You know, on Sundays, you end up with an overreaction Monday. And it's like the sky's falling based on what happened the previous day. And I'm just going to like put things in perspective. And I'm a perspective guy. All right. You give me all the different scenarios and whatnot. And then there's a perspective. There's a focus that needs to be adhered to. And a bottom line the thing for me, when the dust settles, what are we really saying? At the end of the day, what are we saying? That's me, after all things are done, where are we at? Okay. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Please comment, become a part, engage in the Uncle Fred experience. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So let's get into it. So yesterday, Cowboys lose 36-33 in OT. And we talked about it yesterday. We've had time to sleep on it. Okay. So what are my takeaways? And I've seen some of the pundits. I've watched Mark Holmes. I've looked at Mike Fisher. These are some Cowboy content providers. And I sometimes I look at them and I get perspectives from them and look at how they look at things. And sometimes I put a myriad of these things. Watch Skip and Shannon, a little bit of that. Jeff Kavanaugh. There's different purveyors of Cowboy content that are out there, and we're all brethren in this endeavor. I may be the little bitty brother because I'm just starting out. These are big brothers, but I listen to them and I get perspective. Okay, so what are my takeaways from that after having slept on this thing? All right, so it's overreaction. My number one thing is do not play the victim card in no way, shape, form, or fashion. Now you can be victimized, okay, but don't play the victim card. What am I saying? I'm saying in life, things are going to happen to you, both positive and negative. You're going to have stimuli coming from all different areas. What it matters is how or what your reaction is to said group of stimuli. Okay. Now, yeah, we know we got a ton of penalties, and I could count about 5 or 6 penalties of those 14 that we got. I still ain't got over that. 14 penalties, 166 yards. I could count about 6 penalties, and I'm like, come on, dude, really? That's a reach, man. That's a reach, But if you heard Mike McCarthy, he said they had a meeting prior to, and they knew that Sean Hockley, son of Ed Hockley, former NFL official, I go back a long way with this NFL thing, so they knew that this was a high volume call unit that called like the second or third most penalties on the games that they called. And most of the time, those calls favored the road team. I don't understand that. I mean, they got some sort of, I think they said in the 11 games that whatever that those have done before, they were 9-2 in favor of the road team in the calls that they made. So I don't know. Sometimes you can go too far with numbers and stuff. But okay. But understanding that means you adjust your game according to that. You don't fall victim of that. And I know I read what Mike McCarthy said. Well, we don't play on our heels. We play on the balls of our feet. We have to be who we are. And while I do understand that. And so, but I'm not one to play the victim card in anything. You get victimized, but then it's like, what are you going to do as a result of that? Are you going to crawl up in a fetal position and cry? Or are you going to come up with a solution on how to beat what it is that has beset you. That's the things that you got to do in life. So you can be all woe with me. They called all these calls. The calls are just coming. They're raining down from the heavens. The calls are just coming. Every time we move, there's yellow flags. Or you can say, look, man, I gotta do this and do that to while they're yinging, I'm yanging. Okay. So I'm not gonna play the victim card with that. I know that the referee calls played a major role in what happened to us yesterday, but it wasn't the only thing that happened to us yesterday. Yeah, we blew some defensive coverages. Jordan Lewis is supposed to be the free safety on a lot of these on a lot of those sets, and he let guys get behind him. I saw on a pass to Jay Jones on the sidelines, was it Trayvon Diggs or was it Curse? This one, I think one of them did. Took a terrible angle on the tackle. See, the way we was always taught, when a guy catches an out pass pattern on the sideline, you come from an angle that forces him out of bounds. You don't come in an angle where he has an out to come inside and loop around you. There's angles to this thing. And he took a bad angle that allowed him to, drop step and go right around him. And if he'd have, kind of bracketed him towards the sideline, he could have forced him right out of bounds. That's a 7-yard pickup. End up being about a 25-yard gain. Those are things that end up at the end of the day is the difference between you having them, forcing them to a punt, or them getting in the field goal range and there's points on the board. It's just little things. The devil is in the details, man. The devil is in the details. Another thing, when they get down inside the 1-yard line, they bring Marcus Mariota in. I negated to bring this up on yesterday. What did you think he was going to do? Okay. If they were just going to throw it, they would have just left Carr in there. But they brought in Marcus Mariota. So what do you think they're going to do? Okay. Now, this comes into the detail of knowing your opponent, understanding your opponent, going over the details, the fine details. Okay. Fine details are the little things you do that add up to, where you make a play where you need to make a play. And when you omit those things, they pile up and then it comes back to bite you in the game. They got Marcus Mariota in there, and I'm looking at these two defensive ends crashing in the middle. I'm like, what are you doing? He runs that zone read. I'm staying outside. But it's like, you got us. No, they didn't get you. You were an idiot to fall for that. That's Marcus Mariota. He's going to run the zone read. You see, I think it was Van Der Esch, and I think whoever it was, go crash in the middle, leaving the outside all exposed. And I was always taught, when you playing defense on the defensive line or you playing the edge rusher, always maintain your outside contained. When you crash inside, and I've never understood why you got 8, 9, 6, 7 guys in the middle. Why would you go in behind them and let them guys do their job and you do yours? Just maintain your area. Don't go trying to help another dude with his area. Maintain your area. He did the little hoop, pull the ball out, and he just walked in the end zone. I'm like, wow, you didn't see that coming. Because I saw it coming on the couch. I said, there's only one reason you bring Marcus on. If they were going to just do a pass, they would have left Derek Carr in there. Okay. So, devil's in the details. Okay. Devil's in the details. All right. So there's plays to be made. There was opportunities to be made. I keep telling you, we got down inside the goal line and Dak missed a wide open Michael Gallup in the end zone. I mean, he was just wide open and he missed it. And then he got the touchdown on the next play, but it was called back because of holding, supposedly on Tyron Smith. I didn't think that was holding. And I heard Tony Romo say, man, what he did there, that happens on every play. Now, I also saw, and see, one of my things is, and I'm not crying about the calls, but if you're going to call the game heavy, then you need to call it heavy on every play. I saw Michael Parsons get held up under the neck 5, 6 times, and there was no call. So, and then you want to nitpick that one on a scoring play. See, those are the things, the inconsistency. you're always going to get me upset when you're not consistent. If you're going to call it, then call it, okay? But if you're not going to call it, then just, call just the egregious ones. It's just like anything else in life. If you got a boss that's like, wants you to be on time every day, fine. That's the rules we playing. I'm 5 minutes early every day. But then don't do that, and then like next week, and I'm a minute, 2 minutes late, you don't say nothing. Well, wait a minute now. Which way is it? Are we going this way or are we not? I'm about consistency. If you do it Monday, do it Friday. If you do it Tuesday, do it Thursday. Okay? Don't do it twice on Monday and don't do it at all on Friday. You're going to get me all. So I like consistency. And I didn't think there was a lot of consistency there as it relates to that. But having said that, you adjust your game accordingly. Okay? The other thing is, the NFL got to really look at this thing. And let me tell you what I'm saying with that. Just like the NBA had to revisit, some things because they had some guys who were kind of skirting the rules and kind of making the game something that it was morphing into something that they didn't really want to be. Yeah, I watch a lot of NBA too. I'm a sports fan. Eventually, I'm gonna kind of get into some NBA talk because the NBA is heating up. So, but there's become a thing, and Jerry Jones said something. Like I said, I don't always agree with Jerry Jones, but sometimes you listen to him. Sometimes the old people talk. You listen to them. There's some wisdom to be said sometimes on what they're talking about. Okay, Jerry Jones is about 78, 79 years old. He has seen a lot of things. He said something that's like, it's become a game of jump balls. And I thought about it. I said, hey, he kind of hit something on that. And I started thinking about that thing. And I was like, yeah, we have turned that into, and I went back and looked at that play that they called on Anthony Brown. I know he's like, which one? Because he called him for 4 PI calls. Which one? And I know the one that he got called for in the end zone was total BS because that's just good coverage. And he had the inside position and he intercepted that. That's an interception. He has the right to go for that football. But I'm talking about the one at the end of the game that basically sealed the game. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's PI. Well, no, not really, because if you actually look at it, and I listened to what Anthony Brown said after the game, and credit to Anthony Brown, he owned it. He said, man, I wish that. And the reporters tried to bait him into saying, into victimhood. That you think they was picking on you? Do you think that they were doing this? Do you think that was that? What are you feeling like when they're calling? You looking around this? He said, all I'm thinking about, I got to get better. I got to get better. We're going to go back to the drawing board and look at how we get better. So credit to him for not playing the victim card. Man, they're coming at me and I didn't know what to do. No, man. Man up and do what you need to do. And we got to figure out how to be better so that those don't get called. Okay. But on the play in question, in overtime, it's 3rd and 18, he made a point, and I went back and looked at it. I'm like, dang, he kind of got a point. He's like, I'm going up and I'm putting my hands up and I'm trying my best not to touch him, but the ball is short and he jumps back into me and holds my head while I can't turn around for the football. And if you look at that play, Jay Jones has Anthony Brown's round the helmet. So to me, if I'm a ref, I'm like, look, dude, y'all both kind of got contact that's kind of out of bounds. So I'm going to kind of just let y'all play. He had his hands wrapped around his helmet. He's got a right to be up underneath him playing coverage. He's got a right to do that. Jay Jones, the ball is like 8, 9, 10 yards short. He's jumping back into the position that Anthony Brown has established in order to go back and get the football. That's something they got to look at, because at this point you're perverting the game. The football is a game of skill and abilities. The guy that's covering you and the guy that's going out and is going out to catch passes. I'm trying to outmaneuver you to get the said pass that's being thrown. The pass is thrown short, and I'm going to jump back in through him to try to get the ball and get a penalty. What's the difference between that and in the NBA? You got James Harden going to the middle. The guy's there. He jumps into him, hooks his arm, and throws up some stuff and gets a foul. What's the difference? The answer is there is none. And the NBA said, you know what, man, that we're not doing that. That's not what the game is supposed to be about. Okay. It's not inventing calls to get calls or whatever. Play the game. Okay. Play the game. And that's what I'm saying. If you're a receiver, go get the football. Okay. Not playing this, or we're gonna throw it 5 yards short and I'm gonna jump back in. Dude, that and the NFL needs to look at like, well, we're not calling that. We're not bailing you out on stuff like that. Play the game. Okay. Go catch the football. You see it, go get it. And I'm covering you. If I see it, I'm knocking the ball down. And that's what it needs to be about. Okay. So yeah, when I looked at that play, I know a lot of the pundits were like, well, yeah, that's PI. Well, is it really? Because you got a guy playing position and you got a guy jumping back through him. We don't need to be going down that road in terms of football. That's not football. Hey, that's some morphed manifestation of something. That's not football. And it's just not. It's just not. Okay. Yeah, if he went up and they're both up, he pulls him down and go get it. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Or if he knocks him down and go get it, wraps him up, holds him where he can get. Yeah, because guys do that. Sometimes you do that rather than give up the touchdown. Now I'm just gonna grab you. Yeah, I get the flag. It's 15 yards, but I ain't give up the touchdown. That's fine. You do that. There was a couple. One he did on Brian Edwards. He did the little. That goes in the third quarter. He turned. He had his jersey, and he couldn't let him come out of his break. Yeah, you got to call that. That's just bad technique. But if you're throwing a short pass on a go route, and then you're throwing it short, and he's jumping back into me to try to come back, get the foot, dude. The competition committee got to go back and look at that. What kind of game are we morphing this into? And I'm one of these people that, like, when you start with trends and things, I'm one of these people like, okay, where are we going with that? Okay. What are we, because you want to, and I equate that as like you're in a city you ain't never been in, you're on the highway, you in a city you don't know nothing about, and you see a road and you want to know, well, I wonder where that ends up. So you take that road and then it ends up in a dead end or ends up in wrong turn. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie. So when I turn on the street, I kind of like to know where that street's ending up before I go down that road. So what I'm saying is when you start venturing out some new fangled something, be conscious of where that might lead, what that might lead to. So you end up like Jerry Jones said, it's become a game of jump ball. Just throw up a ball, and if the ball's here and I'm playing here, you jump into me to go get it and I got caught. Dude, that's not football. I don't care what nobody says, and I'm not playing the victim card in that, but that right there is not football. And then I heard something that Mike Fisher said today. It was like, well, the Cowboys should have, like, if they saw they was calling, they should have did that. Well, if that's part of your game, you could do that. If it's part of your game to jump back in the guy, like, it's like, I've seen a lot of players try to do that thing that Harden was doing. They told Steph to try to do that. Hey, why don't you try to do that double step back thing that's really walking? Okay. And they called him for traveling. Yeah, you can't do that because you don't do it as well as James. And so they stopped giving him that and whatnot. And they should have, because it's like, it's not a basketball move. And then they stopped them from, if you're going up for a shot and you kind of move into the guy that's not a basketball move, they're not giving you that call. Because you excuse my language, you're bastardizing the game now. I'm a purist. I like the game to be, a game of skills, my skill versus your skills. I'm not playing the rules. I mean, get an advantage by, doing this. Play the game, dude. So NFL got to do something about that. Not just because it got to me. I'm just like, I don't like to see that. I don't like to see that. If I'm watching a basketball game, I don't want to see 55 free throws. Play the game. Don't be inventing calls. I'm going to drive the lane and grab a guy's shoulder and pull him into me and throw up some jump. Get that crap out of here. That's not what the game is supposed to be. And I don't like it. So that's where we're at with that. So here we are. And the one thing I don't like, also, and I heard some stuff Dak said and Jaron Kerr said in the press conference. Sort of like, if you off the bandwagon, stay off of it. And I'm like, what do you mean off the bandwagon? I don't know what you mean by that. If you mean by, if I'm going to endorse that y'all didn't play well enough to win, and I'm supposed to be just okay with that, and oh, that's okay, I love the Cowboys anyway, which I do. And if you think anything, I might not have all of the things behind me, some of the other ones do, the placards behind me and whatnot. But anything you think I don't roll that way. Look at my gloves. So these are my work gloves. I go out, and then when it gets cold, I'm gonna have these on. When we social distancing and whatnot. This is the mask I'm putting on. Okay, I'm writing with a pen here. I don't know where it went to, but it's got Dallas Cowboy stuff on it. So now, for anybody to think I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan, been rolling with them since '77. So there's a lot of stuff you're not gonna just tell me. You're not gonna urinate in the air on me and tell me it's raining. I know better. I've been watching this stuff longer than most of y'all been living. I know what I'm talking about. All right. So don't question my gangster when it comes to the Cowboys. Okay. Don't question it. All right. But having said that, I'm not putting up with foolishness when y'all can do better. Now, some of y'all are parents, and I understand that, we love our kids, but when they're wrong, they're wrong. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm not supporting you in wrong. If you wrong, dude, you wrong for that. I would tell my son that, yeah, you raised like how you raised. But if they found you holding up a liquor store, dude, I'm gonna come see you and do all I can to make sure that you got what you need and can do it. But you're wrong. And I'm not enabling you to continue in wrongness. And so I'm not going to be one of those, well, the refs and whatever. Dude, we did not play well enough, okay, to win that game. Because in some games you got to overcome some stuff. That's part of life. It's about overcoming. You don't be a victim, you're a survivor. You survive and advance. So that's what it's all about. So it ain't about bandwagon, and some of these fans that win 3 games. Oh man, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm like, shut the heck up. Let's see where this thing goes, because I've been watching this thing 40 years, and I can tell you, just because you get out to a 5-1 start, 6-1 start, don't mean you're going to the Super Bowl. Don't mean anything, because things happen. Watch the movie. Don't be trying to predict the ending. Watch the movie. Eat your popcorn. Enjoy the movie. Okay, don't try to predict how it's going to end. Well, yeah, the caretaker did it. Shut the heck up and watch the movie and just enjoy the ride as it's going. And then what we try to do, I try to make assessments of what I see. And I tried to tell y'all earlier, the Cowboys give up way too many big plays. I tried telling y'all that. I read articles from y'all from the Cowboys secondary, Joe Vitt. And Al Harris, the guys that are, some of their techniques were suspect, some of their tackling was suspect, and they were giving them way too many plays, an alarming amount of, when they're talking about, what do they call those things, gash plays or whatever, that's over 15 yards, they had given up about 25, 30 of them in like 5-6 games. So that's why I'm like, dude, y'all got to clean up some of this stuff. And sometimes the picks and the interceptions, the fumble recoveries are cosmetic for bad defensive fundamentals. So, and I'm going to say that. I'm going to tell you what I see. So it ain't about bandwagoning. Play better. And so anybody that knocks fans for not being happy with what they're seeing, booing you because you're not playing well, play better. And they won't boo, and Mike Fisher made a good point. He said, if an artist made a crappy album, would you not say, man, that album ain't good? Or be like, oh, I like such and such. I'm going to love it anyway, even though it's garbage. No, you're going to be like, no, I'm not buying that one. Right. So when they play not up to their standard, call them on it. And you can be upset. And like I said, I'm still rolling. Okay? Gonna be there. DC4L, Dallas Cowboys for life. Dallas Cowboys to the casket drop. But I'm not going to accept or stand by and let you do dumb stuff, silly stuff that don't allow you a chance to win and not say nothing about it. I wouldn't be doing my job, which is not a job. It's just my own assessment. I don't get paid for this. So anyhow, so that's where we're at right now. So, but there is hope on the horizon. That's why it's Overreaction Friday. Because we tend to think that, oh my gosh, it's all going up in flames. Hold on. Because a lot of times it's never as good as you think, and other times it's never as bad as you think. Coming back next Thursday, we're gonna have Amari Cooper back. We're gonna have CeeDee Lamb back. Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson will have the experience of having to carry the load. They're going to be better in their roles. I didn't like how they were shuffling the left and right tackles in and out. I don't know what that's about. Settle on the 5 guys that you're going to find. That may have been why we didn't rush for 64 yards, because guys got to have a continuity. I didn't even mention that yesterday, but they were kind of, you see Lyle Collins on some plays and he's out. And you saw Terrence Steele in some plays and he's out. And then you just bringing them in and out like you do defensive linemen. You can't do that. Offensive linemen got to have continuity. So I hope they figure out that you're not good as you think you are with that. Pick 5 guys, let them get continuity, and let's roll. Okay. You got those guys coming back. You got DeMarcus, otherwise known as Tank Lawrence, coming back. Who knows? Maybe Randy Gregory is back. Okay. So it's a little dark right now, but the sun is peeping over the horizon. Okay. Let's go. That's not the sky's falling. Okay. Yeah, we got a rough patch right now. We lost two in a row and 3 out of 4. We won 1 game in November and lost 3. Okay. Yeah, it looks bad right now. But that lets you know what kind of team are you, because when things are down, do you just woe is me, or do you say, or you pick yourself up by the bootstraps and say, let's get this thing going? Okay. And I believe those guys can do that. So as a Dallas Cowboy fan, that's what I'm hoping, and I'm guaranteeing that's what they're going to do that. Okay. So overreaction, that's what we do. But when we get time to put things into perspective, we 7-4, still got a 2-game lead in the NFC East. And, we're going to get some guys back. We got some guys I'm sure are mad. Guys was watching film. Guys that, paying attention to some detail. You lose some games, you start paying attention to some things that you weren't. And I think we're going to be fine. I think we're still going to win 12, 13 games. Okay. 12, that means we lose 1 more game. I think we could do that. Okay. So cheer up, Cowboy fans. It's not as bad as we think. It's going to be all right, but we got to play better. And I'm not giving you a pass when you don't play well. Play well, and we're good. Okay. So that's all I got from the desk of Uncle Fred and this Overreaction Friday. Y'all take care, and don't eat them second day Thanksgiving leftovers. Them things is the best, man. That's the best. That turkey, that second day, that smoked turkey that next day, them second day macaroni and cheese. Yeah, that's what's up. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving, man. It's more great football and basketball and sports to come. I'll be in and out and on different videos. So y'all just take care and just watch and take care of yourselves, love on each other. And I'll see you guys on the other side.